Simon, the ex-CEO of Hytale, has been staying true to his promise, keeping us all in the loop as he shares updates on the process of acquiring Hytale. But that's not all. He's been flooding Twitter with a storm of tweets, answering fan questions, teasing features like proximity voice chat, confirming planned release platforms, and even the payment model, and even dropping a couple cryptic emojis and memes that hint further at progress. To keep things brief for you guys, I won't go over every single tweet. Simon's been tweeting nonstop. Seriously, just look at all of these tweets. He even goes as far as confirming when Hytale might actually release. If you don't want to miss the next Simon news, we've got a channel in our Discord that keeps track of all of his tweets. You can also join to rep the exclusive Hytale tag, links down in the description below. While Simon is keeping us all engaged with his memes and emojis, someone asks about the highly anticipated adventure mode, and Simon replies with, "Yeah, it's gonna probably feel bare bone day one, but the exploration is going to be great. We would then spend many years improving the experience, of course. Just need to release something ASAP, use income to scale the team." Personally, I agree with this approach, and I think I could speak for a lot of us when I say we're just eager to play the game, no matter what state it's in. Continuing on, someone asks about whether or not HyCon, the planned Hytale convention, is going to be a thing. Simon explains that there can't be any distractions while developing and releasing Hytale, but reassures us that once things are successful and fun, he will start thinking about these kind of events. Hey, so at the time of this recording, Oscar Garvin, the ex-composer for Hytale, dropped 7 hours of OST, and you absolutely need to give him a listen. By the way, my personal favorite is Sleeping Creator. It's amazing. Also over on Reddit, Oscar confirmed he will be returning to the team if Simon acquires the IP, which is great to hear because I honestly can't see Hytale the same without Oscar's work in the game. Truly one of a kind. Now let's talk engine. As most of us want to know, but never got the chance to understand, is how bad of a shape the new engine was actually in. Well, Simon took the time to already interview 10 plus developers about the situation, and he explains it as, "Some aspects are good though, but not worth leaving behind a ton of features. It could be worked on to be as good as the legacy and beyond, but we don't have time. Time ran out a while ago. It's time to release a game, not work on engines." This is such a reassuring update. The fact that he has already interviewed so many developers about the state of the current game shows that he is willing to spend every ounce of faith he has left to release Hytale, and I guess apparently every dollar he has as well. It's also worth mentioning that the legacy build ran fine on Windows and Mac. While Linux wasn't confirmed, it probably could work there too. And also, get this, remember the lighting everyone was worried about from the legacy engine? Simon says the legacy engine actually had smooth light fall off on basic blocks, but some models like slabs and stairs were missing it. XDev chimed in and confirmed it's just like early Minecraft, totally fixable at a later date. Someone even asked about connected textures, like trees blending better, and Simon said, quote, "Yep, one of those small polished things we can tackle post-launch. Nothing major, just cosmetic tweaks for down the line." Moving on, let's dive into the answer that people in the community have been absolutely dying to know. Will we be getting proximity voice chat in Hytale? Yes, you heard that right. Simon responds to a tweet regarding voice chat, quote, "Today I had a chat with one of my devs that used to work on Hytale, and he thinks it's possible to add it back in. I will personally make sure it happens, especially in time for minigames. This could be hilarious and chaotic. Love it. Opens the door for new minigame genres as well. If I get to buy the IP, of course." We covered a lot about the voice chat conversation in our last video, so if you haven't already, give it a watch. Another big curiosity is how much of Hytale have we actually seen? Simon doesn't fully know yet, but he believes there's probably a ton of content just sitting there ready, thanks to the team that was already working on it pre-cancellation. He'll know more once he can get hands-on. We also finally get a glimpse of what the payment model could look like for Hytale. Someone asks, is it fair to assume you would sell Hytale as a pay-to-play game to get back some early revenue? Simon replies with, quote, "Yes, probably 2 or 3 different versions. 1, lower price version for people who can't afford or simply want to try before upgrading. 2, a supporter pack version where you get cosmetics, stuff to show your support. And 3, maybe some kind of founder pack with multiple access keys and extra cosmetics. Of course, subject to change, but that's my current thinking." Okay, so who's also buying the founder pack? Really though, I am so glad we finally got to see some insight on what the payment model could look like. Even if it changes from this idea, at least Simon is being super transparent about every tiny detail. Now, what most of us have been waiting years to find out, someone on Twitter asked, in terms of distribution, would you release Hytale on Steam, or would you rather sell it independently? To which he replies, because the game would be doing shared source and potentially open source, we would be updating the game quite frequently, with version change options for in-dev/very early access to accommodate such pace. It might be best initially to start on our own launcher. We could still distribute Steam keys later on anyways. We don't necessarily want to have a lot of players early on, so giving up 30% to Steam for features we wouldn't need doesn't seem like a fair trade. I still haven't seen the game, so all of this is subject to change, but that's how I feel at the moment. Long term, I think Steam makes sense, especially close to the full release. For deep in-dev versions, maybe not so much. This is so exciting, we finally know Hytale will be on its own launcher. Plus, Simon's plan to make it shared source and maybe even open source is huge. It means developers will directly be able to share code, share fun ideas, and help the development of the game improve rapidly. And here's some cool insight. Former Hytale devs revealed that there was already over 1,000 cosmetics made before the game got cancelled. That's insane. Hats, outfits, skins, Hytale was stacked with customization. We now know Simon's plan for platform release, pricing model, in-game voice chat, and tons of other interesting things about Hytale. Surely there isn't anything else, right? Wrong. Someone asked about Hytale's living world, and will it be a thing? To which Simon replies, top priority. From what I know, it delivers on this. We'll probably have to invest some more time in the NPC interactions to make sure it's great. Can be improved over time, but you're right, it's critical. A follow-up statement is explained, well, when you were casually strolling through the woods and forests, you could hear the whistling of birds, the rustling of leaves caused by wind, and Simon adds on, if it's not implemented, it should. In fact, I had a discussion with a dev earlier today and I talked about wind visual effects. Funny enough you mentioned. It's fantastic to hear Simon's top priority is creating a truly living Hytale world. That's what made this game stand out to me from the beginning. With live feeling NPC interactions, like the mouse eating the cheese, you can't go wrong. This goes hand in hand with someone then asking Simon if Hytale has a taming system, and while he wasn't sure if it's in quite yet, he said it's definitely something he'd want to add post-launch. He also shared a really cool idea from 2018. Instead of a traditional tutorial, new players could spawn next to a wounded animal. You learn the basics of survival by helping it recover, crafting bandages, gathering food, building shelter, and so on. It's a simple system, but Simon believes it could make the game feel more alive and less lonely, especially early on. He'd love to implement that kind of feature after release. Speaking of atmosphere, Simon admitted lore is going to take a backseat early on, but the second he can, he wants to bring back the original writing team and just let them cook. Love that. Now as for quests or the storyline, yeah, Simon's not entirely sure if even a single quest exists right now, so he's not making any promises on that being included in day one adventure mode, and honestly, I respect him for that, being as transparent as possible. Winding down on his number of tweets today, and I know, there was a lot, he answers one last question about prioritizing custom input support for Hytale. Simon says, I don't remember if there is already, but I get what you mean. I agree. For example, why to open up your minigame menu, etc., right? Should be fairly simple to do so if it's not already there, but I have a feeling it's already a thing. For those of you who might not understand, imagine you're playing a game like Minecraft where you use your mouse and keyboard to do things like move, jump, or break blocks. Minecraft has been limited to no custom hotkeys for gameplay, only letting you use keys that are already assigned, like left and right click or spacebar. This adds less limitations and way more creative potential for developers. Alright, here's a pretty big one. Someone asked about how optimistic Simon is about releasing before the end of the year, to which Simon replied, quote, would love to, but deals can take time, but before GTA 6 for sure. GTA 6 is coming out May 26 next year, meaning we are less than 10 months away at most if Simon acquires Hytale. That's actually crazy to think about. We're closer than ever to Hytale's release, and the game was literally just cancelled. If Simon can bring this into fruition, we have exciting times ahead. This is perfectly illustrated by Simon when he tweets out a main tweet of a meme. Just make it first with, you can make it good later. His full focus is on releasing the game ASAP, get player feedback, and improve upon from there. Which is honestly something they should have done from the beginning, but you know, things happen. And that wraps up today's video. Want to stay updated on Simon's tweets and get this cool Hytale tag next to your name? The Discord link will be in the description. Hope to see you all there. We're just getting started with Simon's transparency about Hytale's progress, so stay tuned for more. Also, hey, one last shout out, really, check out Oscar Garvin's 7 hour of OST. Links in the description, it's truly something you want to hear.